Hey guys, let's get more news from Dallas Cowboys, but first don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave your like. Why Shaquille Leonard chose to sign with Eagles over Cowboys after Colts release. The Eagles are coming off just their second loss of the season, a 42-19 defeat at the hands of the 49ers, but reinforcements are on the way to aid Philadelphia's defense. Who might that reinforcement be? It's former Colts linebacker Shaquille Leonard. Leonard spent the first 5+ seasons of his career with the Colts after being a second-round pick in the 2018 NFL Draft. The South Carolina State product quickly emerged as one of the most dynamic linebackers in the NFL, leading the league in tackles as a rookie with 163 and being named an All-Pro 3 times in his first 4 years. However, Leonard has dealt with injuries in recent seasons that sapped him of some of his athletic ability. That allowed Zaire Franklin and E.J. Speed to overtake him on the Indianapolis depth chart, and the Colts ultimately released him after their bye as a result. That made Leonard a prominent in-season free agent, one who would have plenty of upside in the right situation. He made visits to Philadelphia and Dallas before ultimately choosing the Eagles as his next team. But why did Leonard go with the Eagles over the Cowboys? Here's what to know about his free agency decision, which comes just ahead of Dallas and Philadelphia's Week 14 showdown. According to NFL Network's Ian Rappaport, the Eagles were always the preferred spot for Leonard. It makes sense when breaking down Philadelphia's roster construction. While the Eagles returned most of the roster that went to a Super Bowl last season, they endured a key loss at linebacker, where T.J. Edwards defected to sign a big money deal with the Bears. The expectation was that Nakobe Dean would take over for him in his second year with the team, but he has struggled to stay healthy. As such, the Eagles have been relying mostly on Zach Cunningham and Nicholas Morrow to man the position. Both have been solid, but the Eagles don't have proven depth beyond them. Thus, it makes sense for them to add the experienced Leonard in the hopes that he can rekindle his career in Philadelphia. From Leonard's standpoint, joining the Eagles is ideal for 2 reasons. First, he has an easy path to earning playing time because of the team's lack of linebacker depth. Second, he gets to play for a legitimate Super Bowl contender, something that he never did during his 5+ seasons in Indianapolis. So, this marriage looks like a sensible one on the surface. Cowboys' Jake Ferguson is Dak Prescott's new security blanket. Seattle Seahawks safety Quandre Diggs made sure to let Jake Ferguson know about the hit he just laid on the Dallas Cowboys tight end in the third quarter of Thursday's game at AT&T Stadium. For the briefest of moments, Ferguson had to collect himself, but as soon as he could, he got up and made a first down signal in Diggs' face after picking up 14 yards on a 2nd and 13 play that eventually led to a Tony Pollard touchdown. After Diggs yapped, fellow safety Jamal Adams began pointing at Ferguson, and eventually the two were face mask to face mask before they were separated by teammates. "Just letting them know I got the first down," Ferguson said. "You can talk all you want." In the fourth quarter, trailing 35-30, Ferguson was matched up against Adams on 2nd and 7 at the Seattle 12-yard line. Quarterback Dak Prescott made a quick hitch. Ferguson jumped inside to create room from Adams and scored the eventual game-winning touchdown with 4:37 left to play. Quickly, Ferguson stared down Adams and went with a loud spike to celebrate. "He's a baller," Prescott said. "His mentality, first and foremost, is why he is the guy that he is and having the success that he has." Ferguson's development in his second year has been one of the main reasons for the success the Cowboys have had offensively. Since Prescott became the starter in 2016, he has relied on his tight ends, from Jason Witten to Dalton Schultz. The Cowboys never made a big push to retain Schultz, who played on the franchise tag last season before signing with the Houston Texans during the offseason. The Cowboys were deep in discussions to sign free agent Robert Tonyan, who was on the Packers when Cowboys coach Mike McCarthy was in his final season in Green Bay, but he ended up signing with the Chicago Bears. The Cowboys ended up drafting Luke Schoonmaker in the second round, yet Ferguson, a 4th-round pick in 2022, has become every bit the security blanket for Prescott that Witten and Schultz were. "There's a lot of trust there," McCarthy said. "I mean, just on that last touchdown throw, you don't throw the ball to a guy that you don't have a lot of reps with. I think you're seeing that with him and pretty much most of our perimeter. And we have to have that. We can't play the aggressive brand of football in the passing game if we don't have that." With 46 catches for 498 yards and 5 receiving touchdowns in 12 games, Ferguson is second on the Cowboys to receiver CeeDee Lamb, 90 catches, 1,182 yards, 7 TDs, in each category. Schultz has 40 catches for 455 yards and 5 touchdowns for the Texans in 11 games. Among NFL tight ends, only Mark Andrews, Baltimore Ravens, and Sam Laporta, Detroit Lions, have more touchdowns than Ferguson and Schultz this season. Dallas Cowboys encouraged to sign Lions quarterback as potential backup. There's no reason to think about 2024 after the Dallas Cowboys' latest win, but the best franchises are always one step ahead. Bleacher Report suggested that Dallas Cowboys should be looking alive for current Detroit Lions QB Teddy Bridgewater in 2024. Dallas Cowboys have 2 options on their current roster, but both could test free agency next spring. Perhaps the strongest point in Bridgewater's favor is its connection. After Bridgewater impressed at Louisville from 2011 to 2013, the Minnesota Vikings selected him with the 32nd overall pick in the 2014 NFL Draft. There was a lot to like about Bridgewater as a prospect, and Minnesota took advantage of the opportunity. His time in Minneapolis started well. He had a 17-11 record as a starter in 2014 and 2015 and was named to the Pro Bowl in 2015. In that sophomore year, he threw for 3,231 passing yards, 14 TDs, and 9 interceptions. But during preseason workouts in 2016, Bridgewater suffered a torn ACL and additional structural damage. This not only wiped out that season, but also sidelined him for all of 2017. Minnesota decided to let him serve as a free agent the following spring. In the following years, Bridgewater moved around, starting with the New Orleans Saints, Carolina Panthers, Denver Broncos, and Dolphins. His career start is 33-32, and he is averaging 191.4 passing yards per game with 75 touchdowns and 47 interceptions. And you fan, what do you think of the Teddy Bridgewater situation? Leave your opinion in the comments.